There is a clear legal entitlement for you to receive child maintenance from the father or fathers or other parent of your child, and that starts from the point of separation. You don't have to go through the child support agency if you don't want to. Your arrangements are your private business if you want to make arrangements with the other parent and come up with a plan. However, if you can't reach an agreement, or the payments are irregular or not enough, or you're feeling that the child maintenance is being used for something other reason to control your finances, or you've been made to justify how you're spending it, then you may want to consider using the government service operated by the Child Support Agency, which is a free service. That service will have a standard calculation. They use a standard calculation to calculate the child maintenance. If you have 2 children, for example, they live with you 7 nights a week, then the other parent is expected to give you 20% ordinarily of their income, their net income, their take-home pay. And so you can use that as a guide if you want to make your own arrangements as a starting point. But as I said, if those agreements break down, you can use the Child Support Agency. The parent will be contacted. He would be expected to pay that to you. If that isn't paid, then there are mechanisms within the Child Support Agency that will enforce those payments and make sure that money goes directly to your children. It's a common question on our advice service that if the father doesn't pay, does the government help me with any other payments? But the answer is quite straightforwardly no on that. There is no extra benefits if child maintenance isn't paid, so it's crucial that you take action quite quickly to try and either renegotiate with the parent, try and find out why the payments have stopped, of course. If they've just willfully not wanted to pay, then it's crucial to go ahead with a child support calculation through the Child Support Agency, if you haven't already, and make them aware that the payments have stopped, and then really chase them up regularly to ensure that they take action to ensure that the father does pay. It can take some time. The initial calculation, if things go well, can take maybe up to 6 weeks, but if the father's trying to avoid payments, then it can take a lot longer, unfortunately. So often it is a case of you doing your homework, calling the Gingerbread helpline. We've produced some fantastic publications that help give you some tips about handling child maintenance, arrears, calculations. Other issues are quite complex around varying the calculations, and then you can appeal decisions, you can complain if you think the Child Support Agency hasn't acted in the way they should, and you can ensure that enforcement measures are taken ultimately, and that can mean bailiff action against the other parent, for example. It may not be something you want to go through, it may be something you feel might have impact on your relationship with the other parent in terms of contact arrangements, but it's crucial to understand it is your entitlement, it is your right to have child maintenance, and if it's not being paid, it's not your fault, and it's important to chase it up because you do need that finance to help with your children's needs. And remember that 50% of children grow up in poverty in single parent households compared to 25% in couple households. So you're doubly at risk of your children living in poverty. And so child maintenance is really crucial, however much it is, to help with that quality of life for your children's activities, for example. It can be incredibly frustrating if you're not getting regular child maintenance. You've tried everything in terms of negotiation with the ex-partner, you've tried using the Child Support Agency, and you're feeling perhaps that they're not taking up the measures that they can to try and make sure the payments are met. And you're not alone, you can speak to us. We are aware that many single parents are going through the same thing, and a lot of parents out there aren't getting the maintenance that their children deserve. We do produce a wealth of information that can support you through that journey, try and take away some of that stress, because it will be a matter of you chasing the Child Support Agency to ensure those payments are met often. But with our help and support, hopefully you can get some movement and get some payments through for you and your family.